Hello everyone, welcome back to the Layer 3 curriculum. My name is Arul Richardson and I'm from the Technical Knowledge Management Group, and I will be your lead instructor for this onboarding program. So in this video, we will talk about 6VPE. Before I start 6VPE, there is something prerequisite that you should know. The first and foremost prerequisite is you must know what a Layer 3 VPN service is. So the concept of Layer 3 VPN service and all the other concepts which are required for Layer 3 VPN service is a must in order to understand 6VPE. So just in case if you're not familiar with any of the concept of Layer 3 VPN service, I have a beautiful video series on Layer 3 VPN service which is a part of this curriculum. So I would strongly suggest you to watch that video and then come over here to understand what 6VPE is. If you already know about Layer 3 VPN service, then let's begin. So 6VPE is an abbreviation or a short form for IPv6 Layer 3 VPN. So an IPv6 Layer 3 VPN is called 6VPE, but it's not an IPv6 Layer 3 VPN from end to end. Okay, so let's understand with the help of this network diagram. Yes, this schematic is very similar to the one which we saw in Layer 3 VPN service. So I will be using the same schematic so that when I configure on the same network, it will be more easy for you to understand. Over here, I have this network. All of these boxes are routers, and in our case it's NPT. So 1, 2, 3, 4 are my 4 ISP routers, okay, which is in the same autonomous system. So from here until here is my ISP. This is site A, this is site B, and there are customers from site A to site B who wants to communicate, and they are located on two different geographical areas. Okay, so two different geographical locations, and they want to communicate via the ISP and in a private manner. So when it was IPv4 all the way, so we created a Layer 3 VPN service from this point where we had a VRF over here, and the next endpoint was over here where we had a VRF over here as well, and using the PECE protocol we enabled a VPN service from site A to site B. Now the ISP is installed, IPv4 is running, everyone is happy. One fine day there is a new customer with the latest technology. Now we all know that IPv4 is no longer a new technology. IPv4 addresses are extinguished, and if you want a new internet protocol address, you don't have any IPv4 addresses available from IANA. So now you have IPv6 addresses. Now new customers are adopting these new technology, which is IPv6, and are now trying to come on the internet using these IPv6 addresses. So let's say I have two customers, or let's say I have a customer which is a new customer, and he is located in two different locations, site A and site B. Since he's a new customer, this new customer is using the new IP version, which is IP version 6 and IP version 6. And now this new customer wants to have communication between its two sites, between A and B. So he will approach the ISP and he will ask for communication from site A to site B, and this ISP has two routers at the location A and location B. But the problem is that this ISP has IPv4 support and no support for IPv6. So one solution for this ISP is to upgrade all of its elements to support the latest technology, which is IPv6, and then accept one customer. Now this is a practical solution. This is a solution that can be accepted, but this is something which is not feasible. Now the ISP network is a huge network with thousands of routers, and it's not necessary that all of the thousands of routers are running at the latest version. So IPv6 is comparatively a newer version when compared to IPv4. Again, it's not so new. It's been for a while in the network, so it's not very new, but still not all the ISP has their backbone upgraded to support IPv6. So what the ISP can do, if he somehow manages to upgrade the entire network, it will still take time. There are so many routers, so in order to accommodate just one customer, there is so much downtime that needs to be taken. There is so much upgradation that needs to happen, so much investment for one customer, and also so much time. So considering this, we need some technique where we can keep our existing backbone, and with a minimum number of changes, we can support the new customer with the new technology. And this approach is called 6VPE. So what the ISP does is, he will keep his edge routers and upgrade the edge routers to the latest version. So in this case, router number 1 and router number 3, which are the direct interfaces to the customer routers, will be upgraded to support IPv6, and the intermediate routers will be unaffected. Meaning that the intermediate routers will be kept as it is, will only support IPv4, and the edge routers, in our case, it's only 2 locations, so only 2 routers. If there are 4 locations, it's 4 routers. 6 locations, 6 routers, which is far better than thousands and thousands of routers at the same time. Okay, so what the ISP will do, he will upgrade router number 1 and router number 3. Once this is done, now the ISP router can accept IPv6 routes from the customer, will tunnel it, will modify these routes, somehow send it on the backbone. Now this is the ability of MPLS. We know that in MPLS network, the lookup is always on labels and not on the real IP. So even if it is IPv4 or IPv6, the MPLS routers can forward the packet by somehow, if we can make them to share labels. So we will encapsulate it somehow in some kind of way, and then send it to the edge router, which is router number 3, and from the edge router we will decapsulate it, receive the IPv6. Now since this router is IPv6 capable, it will understand IPv6, put them into this new VRF for the customer IPv6, and then send it to the customer. The customer router definitely is supporting IPv6, so no problems at the customer end. So such kind of implementation where from the customer to the edge router is IPv6, some kind of tunneling between the backbone over IPv4 backbone, and then again from the VRF or from the edge of the ISP to the customer IPv6 is called 6VPE, IPv6 layer 3 VPN service. Okay, now let's understand how it is done technically. So we create a VRF over here. Let me use another color. Okay, so I'll create a VRF which is green in color for my IPv6. So this VRF will have the same values of RD, will have RT. Okay, now these are the values that are defined by user. This RD for VRF green will be prepended to the IPv6. Okay, so the combination of RD plus IPv6 will give you VPN v6. So this is the first term that we need to know. VPN v6. We know about VPN v4, which is RD plus IPv4. So a combination of RD plus IPv6 is VPN v6. So now when the IPv6 route is sent from the VRF into the internal BGP, which is there from router number 1 to router number 3, which is MP IBGP in this case. MP IBGP has a capability to carry VPN routes. So initially the address family over here we configured for layer 3 VPN service was VPN v4, which was for IPv4 routes. Now in this case it's IPv6, which is VPN v6. So we have a new address family for VPN v6, which is IPv6 layer 3 VPN unicast. So we add the new VPN v6 address family to this internal BGP. Okay, so that now my VPN v6 routes are put into BGP and is sent to the peer router. Now we know one property of BGP. BGP will always send routes with the next hop. So if it was IPv4 or VPN v4, the VPN v4 routes from NPT number 1 is being sent to NPT number 3 with the next hop of 1.1.1.41 or the self hop of the router. Okay, so when it was VPN v4, the 1.1.1.41 is fine, which is again IPv4 next hop. So for VPN v4, IPv4 next hop makes sense. But now in our case, we have VPN v6. So if my BGP is advertising a VPN v6 route, it should also advertise a IPv6 next hop. But the problem is, in my IPv4 backbone, I don't have an IPv6 next hop. Or even if I advertise a IPv6 next hop, meaning when IPv6 next hop will go over here, and if there is a traffic which is coming from here, IPv6, okay, and it goes to router number 3, in order to send that route, will look for IPv6 route. Okay, router number 3 has IPv6 support, so it will support IPv6 route. Immediately it will drop the route, it will drop the traffic, and there won't be any traffic forwarding happening in such a case. So we need to send a IPv6 next hop, but at the same time we also need to make sure that it is understood by all of the other router in the form of IPv4. So we do a kind of tunneling, and that is what we do is we append : FFFF IP address. Okay, meaning that when NPT number 1 will share the route with NPT number 3, it will share the next hop of this router ID as well, meaning when NPT number 1 will share the VPN v6 route with router number 3, the next hop will be : FFFF : the IP address of this router, okay, which is the IPv4 address of this router, which is 1.1.1.41. So the combination of this unique IP address is a IPv6 address. So a VPN v6 with the next hop of IPv6 is given to the router number 3, and when router number 3 receives this unique IPv6 address, which is nothing but an encapsulated form of an IPv4, it will easily understand what the real IPv4 is, and then it will be able to forward the packet in the reverse direction over the IPv4 backbone. So that is a real twist and the most important twist that is happening in a 6VPE scenario, and that's how a 6VPE works. The remaining stuff remains the same. The internal BGP configuration, everything is the same. The new twist is with the next hop, and the new addition is a VPN v6 family between the internal BGP from NPT number 1 and NPT number 3. The PEC and the PEC at site A, site B will still remain the same, and you have your end-to-end 6VPE setup, and you will have ping from router number 5 to router number 6, which will confirm that now your 6VPE service is up and running. And that's all you need to know about 6VPE concept. Now we will see how to configure 6VPE on real ECI NPT in the next video. So I hope that this video was informative and good enough for you to give a glimpse of what 6VPE is. So we will see how the configuration is there in the next video to understand more about 6VPE. I'll see you in the next video when we do the configuration of 6VPE on the same network with ECI NPTs. Until then, thank you and thanks for watching.